The last bus stop that appeared only when it rained. October ki ek thandi aya barish bari raat thi. Oregon ki ek choch she American town, Ash Creek, mine halki barish bina ruke gir rahi thi. Sadkon pa koi traffic nahi ta. Surf street lights ki pili roshni gili sadak pa chamik rahi thi. Log is town ki bare mine ek ajib ba jantha. Jab bhi rat ki 12 bar j barish hoti. Town ki purain highway par ek bus stop dikai dita ta. Din mine wahan kuch bhi nahi hota. Na bench. Na board. Na bus shelter. Lekan adi rat ki bad. Barish ki beach ek purana blue bus stop kada milta. Aya sab se ajib baat. Kisi ne kabi wahan bus ate hu nahi deki. Fear bhi ha sal kuch log ket the ki unhon wahan kisi ko intazar kart deka hai. Ek admi. Black raincoat. Hearth mine purana leather suitcase. Wo kabi hilta nahi ta. Kabi kisi she baat nahi kata ta. Bas barish ko dektarita ta. Aya suba hon she peli. Gayab ho jata ta. Town ki buzerg is jaga ki pass rat mine nahi jate the. Police bhi as road par unnecessary patrol nahi kati thi. Sab ket the. Jo bus stop tumhe barish mine dike, uska pass matrukna. Isi town mine New York ki journalist Claire Morgan ai thi. Uska maksad ghosts dungna nahi ta. Wo America ki choke towns ki ajib legends par article lik rahi thi. Usne bus stop wali kahani sunny. Aya use laga ye surf ek local myth hoga. Usne decide kiya. Aj rat wo kudas road par jayegi. Rat ki 11:45 barjay. Barish aya tez ho gayi. Fog dear road kodani lagi. Claire ne apni car highway ki kaner park ki. Headlights ki alawa aars pass surf and herata. 12 o'clock. 12:03. 12:07. Tavi. Fog ki and a ek blue color car purana bus stop dear sam ubhan laga. Jays wo haimsha she wahin ta. Lekan kuch seconds peli tak wahan kuch bhi nahi ta. Claire ne camera athaya. Usne peli photo li. Dusri photo li. Teesri photo li thai. Usne deka. Bus stop ki bench pa ab koi batha huata. Black raincoat. Leather suitcase. Aya uska chera. Camera ki taraf dear uth rahata. Part 1 ends. Ye concept USA audience ki liye kafi strong high, cozy, rainy, mysterious aya bina horror ki sleep story feel dita high. Rain continued to fall in a slow, gentle rhythm. Claire lowered her camera for just a second. When she looked back, the man on the bench was gone. Only the old leather suitcase remained. She walked carefully toward the mysterious bus stop. Every sound seemed softer here. The rain, the wind, even her own footsteps. The blue bus stop looked decades old. Its wooden bench was worn smooth by time. A faded route map hung behind cracked glass. At the top it simply read, Route 13. No town names. No destinations. Only one sentence written underneath. Last departure, 12:17 a.m. Claire had driven this highway that afternoon. There had been no bus stop. No sign. Nothing. She touched the wooden bench. It was warm. As if someone had been sitting there only moments ago. The suitcase still rested beside the bench. It looked as though it had traveled for years. Its corners were scratched. The leather had faded. A brass luggage tag hung from the handle. Instead of a name, it showed only a date. October 18, 1989. Claire gently lifted it. It felt almost empty. Inside she found only 3 things. A folded umbrella, an old bus ticket, and a pocket watch that had stopped at exactly 12:17. Nothing else. No wallet. No clothes. No identification. She slipped the ticket into her notebook. The paper felt surprisingly new. Across the front it read, 1 passenger. No destination. No seat number. Only today's date. Even though the ticket clearly looked more than 30 years old. Claire frowned. That made no sense. A cold breeze moved through the trees. Far away, she heard something. Not thunder. Not the ocean. An engine. Very old. Very quiet. Growing closer. Through the rain. 2 yellow headlights slowly appeared. An ancient blue bus rolled silently out of the fog. There was no company logo. No route number. Only rainwater sliding down its windows. The bus stopped perfectly in front of the shelter. Its folding door opened with a soft hiss. Nobody stepped out. Nobody spoke. The driver simply waited. Claire looked inside. The seats were empty. Or so she thought. As her eyes adjusted, she noticed faint reflections. Men and women quietly sitting by the windows. Reading newspapers. Holding shopping bags. Looking outside at the rain. None of them moved. None of them blinked. They looked almost like faded photographs. The driver finally spoke. His voice was calm. Are you boarding? Claire hesitated. I don't think so. The driver nodded politely. As you wish. The door slowly began to close. Then, an elderly woman suddenly appeared beside Claire. She carried a small basket covered with a white cloth. Claire hadn't heard her approach. The woman smiled warmly. Good evening. She climbed onto the bus. The driver tipped his cap. The doors closed. Seconds later, the bus disappeared into the rain. Not driving away. Simply fading into the mist until only the falling rain remained. The bus stop vanished too. The bench. The sign. Everything. Claire found herself standing beside an empty roadside once again. Only the suitcase remained in her hands. The next morning, she visited the town library. The librarian listened quietly as Claire described the strange bus. Instead of laughing, he disappeared into the archive room. Several minutes later he returned carrying an old newspaper. The headline read, Night bus service ends forever. October 19, 1989. According to the article, the final Route 13 bus had been cancelled after the highway was rebuilt. No accident. No mystery. The route had simply closed. But one paragraph caught Claire's attention. Every evening, an elderly woman had taken that final bus to visit her sister in the neighboring town. After the service ended, she was never seen traveling again. Claire unfolded the newspaper completely. A faded photograph showed passengers boarding the last Route 13 bus. Standing near the door was the same elderly woman carrying the same basket. Exactly as Claire had seen her the previous night. That evening, rain returned. Claire couldn't stop thinking about the photograph. She drove back to the empty highway. Midnight arrived. The fog rolled in once more. Exactly as before. The blue bus stop slowly appeared. But tonight, someone else sat on the bench. A young soldier. His uniform looked as though it belonged to the early 1970s. He quietly polished a small silver ring. Without looking up, he asked, "Has the bus already gone?" Claire answered softly, "I don't know." The soldier smiled. "I've probably missed it again." He stood, walked into the rain, and disappeared. Not dramatically, not frighteningly. Simply, gone. Claire noticed something beneath the bench. A small metal box. Inside were dozens of forgotten objects. A child's marble. A wedding invitation. A pair of reading glasses. A faded postcard. Every item had a tiny paper tag attached. Each tag carried only one sentence. "Waiting for tomorrow." She gently closed the box. Something about it felt deeply personal. Not haunted. Not cursed. Just unfinished. At exactly 12:17, the old bus returned. This time, the driver opened the doors without speaking. Claire looked through the windows again. Many more passengers sat quietly inside. Some smiled peacefully. Some watched the rain. None appeared frightened. One empty seat remained near the back. Its ticket rested neatly on the cushion. Printed in blue ink was Claire's name. She froze. The driver finally broke the silence. "There is always one empty seat." Claire slowly stepped backward. "I think I'm not ready for this journey." The driver gave a gentle smile. "I didn't think you were." The doors closed. The engine hummed softly. And once again, the mysterious bus disappeared into the endless curtain of rain. Claire stood alone beside the road, holding the old ticket in her hand. Only now, the destination had finally appeared. It hadn't been there before. In small, elegant letters, the ticket now read, "Ash Creek Station." But every map Claire had ever seen confirmed one impossible fact. No place called Ash Creek Station had ever existed. End of Part 2. To be continued in the final part, the station that was erased from every map. The rain returned on the following evening. Not a storm. Just the same calm, steady rain that had fallen every night since Claire arrived in Ash Creek. She unfolded the old bus ticket once again. The words, Ash Creek Station, was still there. She searched every map she could find. Modern maps. Old highway maps. Even railway maps from the 1940s. There was no station by that name. It was as if it had never existed. Yet the ticket insisted otherwise. The librarian watched quietly as Claire spread the maps across the table. After a long silence, he spoke. My grandfather used to tell me about a station that disappeared. Claire looked up. Disappeared. Disappeared. He nodded. Not physically. People simply forgot it. According to his grandfather, Ash Creek Station had once stood beside the old railway line nearly 70 years earlier. It was small, peaceful, surrounded by pine trees. Travelers stopped there during heavy rain while waiting for the midnight train. But when the railway closed, the station was demolished. Over time, roads changed. Buildings disappeared. The town slowly forgot it had ever existed. Except, some people believed memories never completely vanished. Especially on rainy nights. That evening, Claire returned to the lonely highway one final time. The clock struck midnight. Rain whispered against the windshield. Fog rolled across the empty road. And once again, the blue bus stop slowly appeared. The old bus arrived exactly at 12:17 a.m. The doors opened. The driver smiled. You've come back. Claire nodded. I only want answers. The driver stepped aside. Then come aboard. This time, Claire climbed onto the bus. Inside, everything was peaceful. Warm yellow lights glowed softly overhead. Rain traced gentle patterns across the windows. The passengers sat quietly, almost as if they had known one another for years. An elderly woman knitted a scarf. A young soldier looked out the window with a peaceful smile. A little boy hugged a toy airplane. No one seemed afraid. No one spoke loudly. The bus moved silently into the rain. Outside, the familiar highway slowly faded away. The forests became older. Telephone poles disappeared. Modern street lights were replaced by old lanterns. It was as though the bus was traveling backward through time. Not quickly. Slowly. Gently. Like turning the pages of an old family photo album. After several minutes, the bus stopped. Claire stepped outside. Before her stood a beautiful little railway station. A wooden sign read, Ash Creek Station. Rain tapped softly against its roof. Flower boxes hung beneath the windows. An old clock showed 12:17. Families waited under umbrellas. Children laughed quietly. A station master greeted arriving passengers. Everything felt calm, warm, comfortable. Like a memory someone had loved for many years. Claire realized something. This place wasn't haunted. It wasn't a world of ghosts. It was a place where forgotten memories waited. Whenever rain fell, the last bus simply carried those memories home. The elderly woman from the bus approached Claire. She smiled kindly. "My sister used to meet me here every Friday." The soldier smiled. "I promised someone I'd return." The little boy laughed. "My father always bought me hot chocolate at this station." One by one, each passenger shared a happy memory. Not a sad one. Not a frightening one. Just simple moments they never wanted the world to lose. Claire finally understood why the bus only appeared in the rain. Rain slowed the world down. It made people quiet enough to remember. And memories needed quiet places to survive. The driver walked toward Claire. "You cannot stay." She nodded. "I know." He handed her the old pocket watch. "The station doesn't need saving. It only needs someone to remember it." Claire stepped back onto the bus. Moments later, the station disappeared behind the falling rain. The journey home felt shorter. The passengers smiled peacefully. One by one, they quietly faded away. Not because they were leaving forever, but because they no longer needed to be seen. Their memories had been carried safely once again. The bus stopped beside the empty highway. Claire stepped outside. The doors closed. The old blue bus disappeared into the mist. This time, it didn't feel mysterious. It felt comforting. The next morning, the rain had finally ended. Claire walked to the town library. She donated the old bus ticket, the pocket watch, and every photograph she had taken. The librarian created a small display called "The Lost Ash Creek Station." Visitors began reading the forgotten story. Children asked the grandparents about the old railway. Families shared memories they hadn't spoken about for years. Slowly, Ash Creek Station returned. Not as a building, but as a story. Years later, people still noticed something curious. Whenever gentle rain fell after midnight, travelers driving the old highway sometimes spotted, for only a few seconds, a small blue bus stop glowing softly beside the road. No one ever felt afraid. Most simply smiled. Because somewhere beyond the rain, someone was still making sure that forgotten memories always found their way home. And perhaps, on a quiet rainy night, if you ever find yourself driving a lonely American highway, you might notice a warm light in the mist, a blue bus waiting patiently, and a driver who never asks where you are going, only whether you have remembered the places that once made you feel at home. The end.